aren't you just sick and tired of Nocturnes by Chopin? Okay, fair enough. But regardless, there are some wonderful examples of the genre by lesser-known composers, which are well worth your time. So, why not join me and composer Lowell Liebermann as we explore 5 breathtaking nocturnes not by Chopin. First up is Clara Schumann's Notturno, written in 1835. In many ways, this piece exemplifies the nocturne model, as pioneered by John Field, but expectation is constantly defied. Like in the brooding beginning, for example, where unexpected C sharps immediately call the tonality into question. This longing 5-note descent would come to be known as Clara's theme, a musical cipher which is found littered throughout Husband Robert's music. Although this theme recurs throughout, the composer casts it in completely different clothing every time, nestling it amidst broken chord patterns. And even a distinctly un-Chopin repeated note figure. I could say a lot more about this gem, but for now just take my word. If you don't know it, get to know it. Next up is the best nocturne ever written by a Prime Minister. Not that the competition is particularly fierce. I'm of course talking about Paderewski's gorgeous, criminally underplayed contribution to the genre. What I love about this one is that it's both simple and complex. The melody, for example, amounts to little more than sighing gestures, which only occasionally rise up into something more stirring. But it's the accompaniment where the complexity lies, full of suspension-riddled chords which you could happily listen to all on their own. Just take this intricate sequence, for example, with harmony that unfolds according to a repeating rhythmic motif. I'm baffled why Respighi's Notturno isn't better known. Written in 1905, this impassioned work employs a rhapsodic melody and, for my money, one of the best accompaniment figures out there, which I so badly want to steal. Respighi is best known for his orchestral music, so it's perhaps unsurprising that this nocturne features an array of rich orchestral textures. Like in this later passage, for instance, in which you can easily imagine various instrumental sections in dialogue. But for all the pyrotechnics, it's ultimately the quieter moments that hit hardest, like how the music evaporates at the end, with both singer and accompanist slowly exiting the stage. Somehow I've only recently discovered Poulenc's Nocturnes, and boy was I missing out. The first, composed in 1929, neatly encapsulates everything there is to love about this French composer. A childlike melody, intoxicating harmony, and weirdness. Just when you think you've got to grips with this music, it throws something completely different at you. For example, this capricious D minor episode, with piercing piccolo and chugging accompaniment. And then there's this jazzy seventh-based passage, which is by far the coolest thing in this video. If you like the sound of this, which you should, then you'll be delighted to know that Poulenc wrote another 7 nocturnes, and they're just as wonderful and surprising as this one. In recent times, few have contributed more to the development of the nocturne than American composer Lowell Liebermann. It was my great privilege then that I got to chat with him on a range of different topics, including the 11 nocturnes he's written. And fittingly for this video, Chopin was not the main inspiration.
A lot of people assume I was inspired by the Chopin nocturnes, but I was very intrigued at some point to read that Barber said that he was more inspired by the John Field nocturnes. That was the case with me in the earliest of those nocturnes, because I was very fond of a couple of the John Field nocturnes that I would always play through.
But as Liebermann was composing his set, a slightly disconcerting pattern began to emerge.
One of the strange things that happened is a lot of the nocturnes ended up being commissioned in memory of somebody, or in 2 of the cases, as I was writing them, somebody close to the commissioner died, and then it became...
Sounds a bit cursed to me.
I know it. I started feeling, is this cursed?
At the heart of all of these works is a stunning melody. So I had to ask, what goes into writing a good, memorable melody?
Oh, that is the question. And the thing is, what makes a melody good and memorable is something that's very hard to quantify. I mean, and I've seen lots of composition books and kind of manuals and things that try and break it down. And you really can't.
Yeah.
I do an enormous amount of sketching when I'm writing. The aim of that sketching is basically to come up with memorable, strong material. The working out comes later, but, for every little piece, I'll have a stack of discarded sketches that, no, this isn't good enough. I'll write down material, write down melodic stuff, and just say, no, this is not quite doing it. And then when you get something, you just know, okay, this is it.
Yeah. Out of all 11 nocturnes, my personal favourite has to be number 4, whose hauntingly beautiful melody lives in my head rent-free. Now, whereas Chopin typically repeats a theme with ever more elaborate ornamentation, Liebermann completely transforms the textural backdrop. For example, on its second outing, the theme is placed between two syncopated lines, derived from that original accompaniment figure. These lines move in contrary motion as the melody unfolds, creating the illusion that there are in fact 3 hands playing, not 2. For the melody's third and final appearance, the composer mixes things up once again. That once soft, eerie tune is now more like the soundtrack to the apocalypse. Well, I hope you enjoyed my selection, but now I'd like to hear from you. What are your favourite nocturnes not by Chopin? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you soon.